Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. I hope you all are doing well. Sorry for the glare that I have going on behind me, but of course, it's just happens to be how my camera and the window and everything are set up. But welcome. I am Victoria Baxter. I am here, face of the JAL Ministry. You can learn more about the ministry at www.thejalministry.com. But again, happy Monday. Let me also say happy April. I will also say I pray that you all are doing well, as great as you can be, considering. Remember, we are going to trust God no matter what, and we are going to speak life. I talked about that in the Mountain Moving Monday last week. Um, and I hope you were able to catch that. And what I wanted to talk about for Mountain Moving Monday today is rest. Um, I'm sure that a lot of us right now, we think that just because we are maybe, unable to work, for those of us who are, we're thinking just because we're home that we're resting, and we're not. That's not always the case. And I realize a lot of times um, we absolutely underestimate rest and what it actually means for us and for our bodies. I realize that sometimes, even as believers, even in the body of Christ, it seems like sometimes we see it as a sign of weakness, but you shouldn't feel that way because we need physical and spiritual rest. His best work is actually done when we are resting. So please do not forget that. Think about, I don't know if any of you are into fitness. For those of you, who exercise and work out and things like that, your muscles, they also need rest so that they can repair themselves and get stronger. During a training session, your muscle tissue actually starts to break down, and your muscles energy stores ends up getting, they get depleted, and you lose fluids. Like, they also need rest. So it's the same thing as you also need rest. And I want you to imagine climbing a mountain. And if you're climbing a mountain and it's on a long, hard climb, sometimes the most important time on that mountain is actually the time that you spend not doing anything, the time that you actually spend catching up with your exertion level. That's the time that you would use to take in food, take in water, or even take in the view. That's the time that you use to mark your progress. That's the time that you take to remember why you started the mountain in the first place. So please, during this time, if there's something that you have been fighting, whether it's just life in general, whether it's something in particular, whatever, a lot of us, we're just on the go. Maybe it's not even necessarily something you're fighting, but you're just constantly going, going, going. I need you to take time to rest. His best work is done while you are resting, even as you climb that mountain. Again, whether it's life, whether it's success, whether it's, your marriage, being a mother, running a business, whether it is, an actual battle, maybe it's something health related, financially related, relationally speaking. You have to take time to rest at all times. You rest as long as you need, and not a minute before, after you've taken the time to rest. And again, in your resting stage, you've refueled, you've gotten yourself together. Then you can actually move on. Because when you rest, that's when clarity comes. I don't know if any of you are dreamers, but when I'm resting well, and especially when I've been like productive that day, and things to that nature, like when I go to bed that night, I have an amazing sleep. But it's crazy because a lot of times when I'm having the best rest, that's when a lot of my spiritual and divine downloads come to me. A lot of times God speaks to me in my rest, even if I'm not physically sleeping. Sometimes it's just even me just sitting quiet in his presence. We think because we're taking the time to play a game or watch TV or something like that, we're resting. But no, even just resting in his presence, even just sitting there with a cup of coffee, maybe, sitting on your back patio, or, going down by the lake, not right now, don't go outside. But whatever the case might be, a lot of times when we're still and we're quiet and it's doing so from an intentional place, that's when we get some of the best nuggets and the best downloads from God. So you take the time, like I said, and then you'll feel that release. You'll feel renewed, and you'll know, like, hey, it's time for me to leave. Because even with that mountain, you can take that time to rest. Some people even take the time to kind of circle around the mountain for a period of time. But think about even in Deuteronomy 2:3, when it's like, hey, you have circled around this mountain long enough, it's time to go. At some point, even after resting, even after circling, even after trying things on your own, even after, not maybe doing much of anything, or some people have rested too long, at some point it's, hey, you've circled around this mountain long enough. It's time to go north. It's time to proceed. It's time to move on. Do not forget, my friend, that Jesus invites us to rest. A relationship with Jesus, it does not mean entering into a system that is maintained by our hard work. Remember, we're not being graded here by any type of performance. And I think, and that's why a lot of believers see rest as a weakness. I got to keep going. I got to keep making moves. I got to get things done. Check out the message that I did yesterday in Reach Online Church called I Got to Make It Right. Because a lot of times we're like, nope, I can't. I got to do this. I've wasted too much time already. I've got to earn something from God. I've got to prove something to God. No, just take the time to rest. Don't worry about obeying rules. Don't worry about checking off boxes. Just get to know Him. Just sit still and rest. Remember in Matthew 11:28, if I'm not mistaken, He says, hey, come to me, all you who are tired and weary. I will give you rest. Jesus is asking you to please come and rest in His presence. Will you take Him up on that invitation? I surely pray that you do. Hey, again, connect with me at thejalministry.com. You can subscribe. There are so many things to do. You can read the blog, but just make sure you take the time to rest. God bless you. Take care, and I pray that you have a fantastic week. Bye bye.